So my first 50K month in trading, in business, was gone in just a couple of weeks. And this is exactly the reason what happened to me that I'm going to explain to you why you are stuck at making 10K a month, 50K a month, because I've been there. And I'm going to explain to you guys how you can break through it. And it hasn't only happened once to me, it actually happened twice. My business did 50K a month, and that is when I realized, damn, here is a pattern. I just didn't know about alchemy yet. So what happened was, in my business, education business, I did a 50K month, and suddenly afterwards, I was making stupid costs, investing way too much money that I didn't have. Then taxes came, and I ended up making almost nothing from that business month. The same happened with my trading. I had the 50K month in crypto. What happened was, suddenly next month, and in 2-3 weeks time, over leveraging, taking way too much risk, taking way too much positions on, and what happened is that I lost about 40K of that money. I remember it very vividly because it was a big loss for me. So in this video, I'm gonna explain to you and break down what actually happened to me and how you can prevent it and how you can scale through different ceilings. So let's talk a bit about the 50K month. What actually happened in terms of identity and alchemy. So let me explain who I was before I hit the 50K month, because it's quite important for you to understand what my identity was before I hit this big ceiling of 50K. So what happened was, I was so used to making 10K a month. And I'm going to explain it to you why. I've manifested that reality. And I've created such a strong belief, such a strong identity about a guy that just doesn't work a normal job, is a full-time trader, and makes 10K a month. I've been writing it down in books, I've been visualizing it, I've been doing meditations on it. So what happened was, in my head, I was still a guy that was making 10K a month. So I know that alchemy is the key here, because what happened not only once, but what happened twice to me is when I hit that 50K month, you could see it as like a ceiling, right? When you have this little chart. So hitting that 50K month was so far out of my identity that my body, my nervous system specifically, was like, whoa, 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 hold up. I didn't react like that. Let me explain to you how I exactly reacted. I had my phone and I was like, holy shit. Back then, to my girlfriend, I was like, I made 50K, what the hell? Whoa. So what is happening when something isn't normal to us? We get in this state of, wow, this is crazy. This is crazy. Why is it crazy? Why do we act like that? Because we don't believe it. So that's the first mistake that I made. Or it's not a mistake because it's a ceiling, right? So it will naturally occur when you enter these ceilings. So what I should have done is just stop, realize, whoa, wait, how am I reacting? Wait, the way I'm reacting is actually revealing to me an old identity, because the old identity would react like that. If my identity would have already shifted, I would have never reacted like that. I would have been like, just another day in the week. Nice. Let's bring in another 50K tomorrow, right? But what happens is when you're not on that identity level yet, there is where the big mistakes happen. So let me explain to you what actually happened. So if we look at this chart right here, it's quite simple. I had my identity ceiling right here, which was the 50K, right? So at the 50K level, this is my ceiling. What happens at a ceiling, our nervous system is gonna react, right? How did I react? I was like, damn, this is crazy, what the hell, this is not me. I'm crazy, what the hell, what the fuck, I made 50K. So what is gonna happen, when you react to this, your nervous system, it's gonna immediately trigger something in my body. This is new, something new is always scary, right? Something new is always scary. So what happened, my nervous system went into scarcity, like fight or flight mode, that kind of mode. So what's gonna happen naturally, my old identity is getting activated, and my nervous system and how I react and how I act from that state is gonna try everything to pull me back to the old identity. And as I explained already, from that 50K, what happened, my baseline here was 10K, right? So this was my baseline. So what happens, it's like a magnet. you get pulled back exactly to 10K. And I didn't realize it back then. I only realized it a couple of months ago. I was like, damn, I get pulled back to a 10K month. And now I know, because 10K a month was my baseline. I didn't change anything about my identity. Well, I changed it to being a professional trader, full-time trader who makes 10K a month, who is just happy if he doesn't have to go work for a boss, right? So that's the big mistake. And I want you guys to learn from this, but because it has cost me, wait, let me explain it differently. It has cost me 100K, right? 100K in capital. Business and trading together, it has lost me 100K. So this is a $100,000 lesson that I'm sharing with you guys. But also, if you know a little bit about my story, I've lost 800K and then another time 600K in trading capital. I've lost it twice. Of course, I came back, but it's only when I realized how to get back out there. So I reached 800K in funding. I was making average 20 to 30K a month in payouts. Even with the 600K a month, I was hitting at least 200K. I was hitting 20K a month with the 600K, 20 to 30K. So what happened, these things, it's above my identity level. I wasn't used to these numbers. Of course, nobody will be if you come from a normal job. It is not you who is used to these numbers. So what happened, naturally, as you know my story, I lost the 800K in funding because it wasn't stable yet. It wasn't transmuted in a new identity. But now here's the real lesson that I want to share with you guys, because this is important, so listen up. This happens in every area of your life. You have different codes of identity written for your business, for your trading, for anything, for love, for money, for whatever it may be. So what might happen to you is first that you're this person right here, right? You're used to making, let's dumb it down. Let's just make 10K a month. This guy makes 10K a month, right? So he makes 10K a month. This guy is, let's just say he is average health. Let's say in business he has maybe sales. That's always the same amount, right? So we have these ceilings that show up. So what happens is, you might jump out of these ceilings if you look at it as a graph. If we draw a graph here, what happens is, you might go up, but it will eventually, or you might go down. What happens is you stay around the same baseline, right? So this is what happens. So usually, you might have a period when sales is really going well, but afterwards, when the sales are drying out, you're like, I was just lucky, or you're just then waiting again for new seasons to arrive when your sales is magically gonna bump up. The same goes with your money. It doesn't mean that your ceiling is 10K, because you'll move above it, but the resistance shows up once you go above or underneath the baseline. So what I usually see with the entrepreneurs that I work with, well, let's say they average 10K a month, they have a certain, let's say they have like 10 sales a month. What happens is when they only get 5 sales and they're not doing the 10K a month, suddenly they get motivated, right? Suddenly they do more calls. Suddenly they're implementing new strategies. Suddenly they're checking up with more people. And that's alchemy doing its thing. That is your identity doing its thing. The same thing happens if you go above baseline. That's the one we commonly know, because that's the one hurting us, right? If it goes underneath that baseline here, so here, this one is never an issue, right? Because when we go underneath it, we'll get motivated again. We'll do more. And you don't really care about that, because then you're like, I'm gonna make it again, because you're used to it and you get pulled back to the baseline outcome of your identity. But the real issue is when we tap a ceiling and we get pulled back to our average baseline. That's the worst, because you can never grow. You can never outgrow your identity. Your business, your love, your trading will only perform as good as how your identity is. Write it down. So once you hit that top ceiling, same thing happens. You get pulled here. But it's here that we have, this is the biggest problem for most people, yeah? Because what happens is when we go above a certain level, Oh well. Then all the shit starts to happen, right? What happens? You start sabotaging yourself. You start procrastinating. You get lazy. You start over-risking. You make stupid business decisions. And then what happens from that is like a domino in your head. I call it with my coaching clients, I say, catch the first domino. Because if you don't, what happens is, well, this one lead is going to trigger you, and suddenly you have all these dominoes falling, and suddenly you haven't done shit all week because you let yourself be conformed by the world, the physical world. But actually, that is revealing the identity that is operating on the inside, because it is only what's inside that will produce the results in the physical world. And once you understand that, well, welcome to alchemy. That is the starting lesson, but it just doesn't start there because you have to implement this stuff. If you don't want to lose money, if you want to scale your business, you have to learn alchemy. You have to learn identity work. I had a call with a client today. He said, every trader needs this. Every business operator needs this. Of course, that's why I'm doing this. I love it. It's like everyone needs this to grow, because what happens is if you don't implement it, and some people can do it naturally, but most people can't. That is why 99% of traders fail. That's why most businesses fail the first 3 years or the first year. I don't know the data. I don't care. I know of most businesses that just start, they fail because they aren't there yet. It's only the people with the strongest vision who are already there that make it in trading and business. And now, what you've all been waiting for, the key to manifestation and alchemy. I'm just kidding, but I'm gonna give you guys a protocol, so sit tight. I'm gonna explain to you how you can change this. You can also work with me, but I'm gonna explain it to you in this video because I wanna give you the real way of dealing with this. The first step is quite simple. I'm not sure if you guys are gonna be able to read this, but it's cool, right? I'm the real deal now. I have a whiteboard. Especially after my previous video where I said you shouldn't have a whiteboard, but hey, at least I got one. Where's your whiteboard? Instead of the Lamborghini, where's your whiteboard? I have one. I'm the real deal. No, I'm just kidding. But the first one is reading your reality as a mirror. That's the whole key thing. People forget it. I have my clients as well. I teach them everything about alchemy, and suddenly they forget to read their own reality as a mirror. So start reading it. Don't react to it. Just read it as data. That's what we need to do. Everything is a code written on the inside. So we get the final piece of the code. What is the final piece of the code? So once you execute an internal code, what is going to happen? It sets all these things in motion, right? And remember, energy can only be created, it cannot be destroyed. So once you activate that code internally, it's going to create this whole process in your body. So let me explain it to you. If you want to read reality like a professional alchemist, you have the code. What happens once that code gets activated in our consciousness? Our identity gets triggered. Once our identity gets triggered, we create perceives about the world, about ourselves. From those how we perceive the world, how we perceive ourselves, we create beliefs. And from those beliefs, we create our actions. From those actions, we create our habits. And from those habits, we create the physical result that we have now in the world. So, you want to change your reality? Start reading it, start understanding the code, so we can move to step 2. So step 2 is quite easy. You got to install the new code. It's important. We see the old code for what it is. It doesn't serve us anymore, so we start reading it. Whoa, this is the old code operating. Then you install the new code. You do identity scripting, you create the code yourself. That's the whole key. You can choose whatever you want to be, you can install it and start operating from that frequency. Because frequency is basically the state that we hold. Frequency is, let me explain that, because a lot of people say, oh, frequency, like it's this magical thing, right? Like these Instagram girls are like, frequency, oh, you have such a good frequency, but I don't know what frequency is. Well, let me explain to you what frequency is. It's what we give our energy. What you give energy, from what state you give it energy, that's your frequency. So the state we operate in is basically our frequency. So if you feel love and abundance on the inside, your frequency will be high. But if you feel scarcity, if you feel fear, you can tell that people's frequency is bad, right? So that's a frequency 101 lesson for you guys. But when installing the new code, you always have to do it frequency first. Results will follow, right? So you start with the state in which you operate, and your state is formed, if you trace it back, it is formed from your identity, and it all starts with our consciousness, our subconscious and our conscious system. Because if we can control that, if we are not conformed by the world, if we feel the things that we need to feel on the inside, reality just has to follow. Because every little step after that, beliefs, perception, belief, action, habit, is gonna follow your frequency. It's gonna follow your state. How long you can hold the state, and that brings me to point 3, is how successful you will be in business and in trading. How long you will not be conformed by the world is gonna give you all the success, all the love, all the business, all the trading results that you want. That's the key what I do with my clients. So point 3 is quite simple. When we move to point 3, it is what I call stabilizing. It's just that. It's easy. The final point to the whole protocol, and I cannot explain the full protocol to you, is what do you do when the world tries to prove you that you are not? What do you do when resistance shows up? Do you cry? Do you go lie in your bed for a week? Or do you adjust? Do you read reality? Because you control reality. The world, how you look at it, is your reality. It is how you create it. It is how you look those these stupid things we have right here. The world comes in, it goes through a filter, and we see the world how we believe the world is perceived from our identity on the inside. I'm dropping gems here for you guys. You better take notes. So let me bring this motherfucker closer so you guys can see. I hope you guys can see. So I wanted to give, oh, now I'm real close. Let me move it a little bit back. So I want to give you guys, well, it was a bit intimate, right? We were a little bit too close, right? Well, let's just be friends, okay? But what I wrote down here, and that's something I wanted to give you guys to improve your daily life. So whenever something happens in your daily life, and it happens to me every day as well, because nothing's perfect. I'm not perfect. I have my own levels I want to reach. I have my own resistance. Don't be fooled. Don't think that I'm a killer, highest frequency. I have my own resistance. Happens every day. But are you conformed by it? Or do you keep moving? So I want to give you guys this question, because asking the right questions can bring you really far in life. So to give you something practical to practice today, tomorrow, whenever you watch this video, I want you to ask yourself, when something happens, what is this revealing to me? What identity is being revealed here? What pattern is being revealed? What kind of habits are being revealed? Start doing that. Start questioning everything. Is this even real? Like, what is this revealing? Oh, wait, I took a loss in trading? Why do I feel bad? Me feeling bad and giving it emotion, what does that actually reveal? Most people don't do that. It's the best trading advice you will ever have. Because your strategy doesn't matter. You can trade anything. You can just press buy or sell now. But what is it revealing to you? So start asking that question. And then I want to give you guys a second question. I'm not going to write it down. I want you to pay full attention. The second question that I want you to ask, whenever you're operating in your business, in your trading, in your love life, in your whatever life, I'm not sure on which planet you are, but I want you to ask the question, which part of me is operating right now? Imagine you have two managers. You have your old manager, you have the new manager. You have the old code, we have the new code. Which code? I should talk more on brand, what I'm doing, right? Why am I talking about managers? I'm running the source protocol. I'm installing the code in you. Why am I talking about managers? Because of the fucking World Cup, right? So, ask the question. Let's go a bit more on brand. What code is running me today? So whenever something happens, whenever you execute a trade, I took a shitty trade. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't a shitty trade. It was just a loss. I was gonna call it a shitty trade because it was a loss, but it was a good trade. But ask yourself when something happens, am I operating from an old code or am I already operating from the new code? Because once you can see it, you can change it. And that's the message I wanted to give for you guys today. Now, I hope this already helps you a lot. I truly want to see you guys win This is what I love to do. As you can see, I'm fully here. This is the best of me. I'm the most authentic version of me because I want to see you guys win and I love what I do. If you want to truly win, if you truly want to go to that next level, the best way to do it is to work with somebody who already understands this. It's going to bring you speed. It's going to bring you way faster results. And in the end, that's what we all want, right? We're all impatient little fucks. We want to, if we could, we want to have $1 million every day starting from tomorrow. We want to see the love of our life just spawn right in front of us. Hey, what's up? Tomorrow, right? You want speed. So that's what you get when you work with me because I want to see you win. So if you want to work with me, I only work with a select kind of people, entrepreneurs, traders. Send me a message or comment alchemy. The best way to reach out to me is on Instagram. You send me a message and we hop on a call and I will break you down and will break you to the new level. I'll install the code with you. I'll make sure you keep that code running. And then I'll guarantee you that you will crush it in life. And you will never ever need a fucking guru or course anymore after you're done working with me. I can guarantee you because I can see it in my own results. I can see it with the clients who I'm working with. So send me a message on Instagram if you want to work with me. And as always, leave a comment, like, subscribe. There's more to come. And bless you guys. Have a strong week. Kill it. I want to see you guys win. Share some wins with me in the comments as well. And as always, Jordi, out.